Hey, this is Chuck, and you are listening to Fans with Bands, the podcast where we talk to the fans and the bands they dig about life, music, and whatever the hell else we want to talk about. Today on Fans with Bands, we are talking to Throne. Check it out. Hey, this is Chuck with Fans with Bands, and I am talking to Joe, Kollin, Nathan, and Les from the band Throne. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Excellent.
And joining us are the fans. So we've got Christina and your husband. I forgot your name already. Bryan. We got Steve. We got Zeek, and we've got Tommy the Gorilla. How you guys doing?
Good.
Fantastic.
Awesome. Well, I usually like to start things off by flipping it over to the fans and kind of get your story about how you became a fan of Throne and what you like about that band that makes you want to even be here and talk to them. So let's start with Christina and Bryan. How did you guys get into Throne?
The road to Summer Slaughter.
Yeah, the battle for Summer Slaughter is the first time we saw them, and the energy they brought to stage was unlike any other band there. So we followed them ever since. We've seen them open for At the Gates.
That was a great show.
Things like that.
That was fun.
Yeah.
On top of that, they played my birthday party last year.
Mm-hmm.
It was January 16th or something.
Where was that at?
2 hours away.
We were in Grand Rapids. They drove 2 hours in a snowstorm.
Driving to.
Yeah,
That was a long drive.
It was a lot of fun though, But just the class that they bring to the stage, the energy they bring to the stage. Nate was really the first one that I myself personally was able to have a conversation with, and the first second I started talking to him, he there's class in his voice, you know what I mean? They're all around great guys, and I mean, even for a genre that's so heavy and violent, it's amazing to have such great people making my style of music, you know what I mean? It's just, there's so many naysayers to our genre, and I think the four guys in Throne are perfect examples of everything they don't believe we're about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh, it totally makes sense, because that's actually something I want to talk about a little bit later. But there's a negative perception about metal because it is violent music. It is fierce and somewhat scary to a lot of folks. But for the people that love it, there's a cathartic experience. You love it because it lets that energy out of you. And you see that out of this band. This band, as far as I know, I mean, I've talked to you guys a few times and know you somewhat well. Very nice guys, like super easygoing, humble, general, easygoing. And that's how a lot of metalheads are. They're really just easygoing, happy people. But when you get in the pit and get crazy, you just get a little fierce, So yeah. Very cool. Steve, how about you, man? How'd you become a fan of Throne?
Well, I caught him at Max, I don't know, 3 years ago, maybe. I was there to support some other local bands. Obviously, I know you and I had talked, Chuck, maybe even that night about, kind of comparing stories that we had, been in the scene for 30 years and blah, blah, blah. Kind of the old guard, from the early 90s.
Right.
And, I've been in bands and I've seen a lot of bands, professional or not. And I'm telling you, man, those dudes, these guys right here, they're the real fucking deal. Pardon my French.
Yeah.
But I'm all in, man. I've never seen anything like that. But I always tell people, I said, if Suffocation and Behemoth had a baby, it would be Throne, hands down. That's what I tell people. You ever heard these guys? You guys, I definitely am your biggest cheerleader. Well, maybe not your biggest, but one of them for sure.
Awesome.
That's all I can say, man. I saw you guys, and I was just like, man, I'm glad I'm not on this bill and not going on after them. That's all I can say.
Right.
I want to go on.
Oh my God, we're not worthy.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, that's how I found out. Well, discovered him was Max quite a few years ago, and I was just blown away by. And then I was like, where the hell these kids come from? Are you kidding me?
Steve, was that the Goat Horse show?
It might have been, because I didn't even stick around, I don't think, for the headlines. I came to see, I think it was, I want to say it was The Revenant, maybe? Or maybe, I'm not sure who all was on that show. I know it was all locals. Maybe Dagon? Were they on that show?
No. That was
that was the Avenue.
On that one with us.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not sure. I just remember, holy crap. Yeah. So Yep, for sure. So I'm just. That's one of the reasons I'm waiting for this crap to get over, so we can start jamming again. Because
Yeah, hell yeah.
I want my new project to go on before you guys. It's gonna have fun. But yeah, man, you guys are. I don't know. I just feel like you guys just keep it together and can avoid all the pitfalls and politics of being in a band together. And I definitely see you guys getting signed to a label and taking off. If it doesn't happen, somebody's not paying attention.
Oh shit.
That's just my opinion.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm all in, fellas. Whatever you guys are doing, if I can make it, I'm there, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that, brother.
Thanks, dude.
Hey,
No problem, guys.
So, Zeek, how about you, man? How did you become a fan?
Can you guys actually hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I was just wondering. Oh, well, the first time I checked them out was actually a show I think that you guys were actually talking about is at Max with Exploding Zombies, Recorruptor. It was a goat horse show. And we were pretty much the rest of the band and I we're getting ready to go on, and the Throne guys were on, and holy shit, all of us were like busy doing our thing, and then we turn around and like, who the fuck are these guys? I mean, who the fuck? Like, these guys are fucking ripping. My God, man, where the hell these guys come from? And dude, they've been blowing our ass away for fucking ever, man. These guys are definitely upcoming, awesome motherfuckers. All you guys, you're doing a fucking fantastic job. You're holding up the fucking metal scene. We love you.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, brother.
Yeah.
Thanks, dude.
Fuck yeah, man.
Thank you.
So, I'm gonna switch gears a little bit, just to ask a question that I'm dying to know about. And so I think I saw you guys open for Dagon at the Avenue. That was my first experience with you guys.
That was our second show we ever played.
That was fucking killer. I was just like, oh, I'm taking pictures and I'm just like, fucking A, this is so goddamn good. And so then your album came out, Altar of the Dying. Loved it. I played the hell out of it. I still listen to that probably at least once a month because I just love that music. And I think I read that there's a new album, Pestilent Dawn, coming out sometime. And I want to know, when the fuck am I going to be able to get this thing and listen to this? And what is the story behind it? So can you walk me through the creation process? Like, when did you start writing it? And more importantly, when is that thing coming out?
For Pestilent Dawn, we've actually been writing that since like, I don't know, for the middle of 2019.
Earlier.
Like as soon as EP was out, as soon as Altar was out,
already had material written for it.
Yes.
But it's actually all finished and mastered and done. We finished it last May of last year. And we actually have information about the record. So it's actually going to be released through Redefining Darkness, which is the record label that released my other band, Jesus Wept material.
Awesome.
But as far as a release date goes, we don't have one quite yet. Hopefully we will get that information as soon as possible, and then we'll let everyone know what's going on with it. But it is coming out this year. So
fantastic. Man, I'm excited already. I don't know about the rest of you.
I am.
We're excited to get it out too, y'all.
Very excited to push it.
We've been literally chomping at the bit to release anything from it. And I mean, I've said that a couple of people have heard it, but everyone else that hasn't, is super in the dark, that no one knows what it sounds like or anything. And we're just like, we've got the masters with us and we're just like, damn it.
So are you guys still in the same general theme of Altar, or have you changed course at all? Or are you just like, we love what we're doing now and we're going to stick with it, but just change?
It's a lot faster.
What? Wait a minute. How could it be faster?
A lot faster.
A lot faster.
It's a lot faster. It's a lot heavier. And we actually almost kind of went away from the black metal a little bit, and it's way more death metal-y. But I mean,
Really?
there's still black metal
Alright.
elements in it. Like, obviously, we can't
Yeah,
get away
yeah.
from that because that's that's our cup of tea, our so to
Mhm.
speak.
Yeah,
But, I mean, we
yeah,
even,
it's definitely
yeah,
heavier
we even
too.
have some elements of slam in newer stuff too. So
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah,
Awesome. So, I don't want to be the only one asking questions. I want to flip it around to the fans and see if they've got some questions. Anybody got questions for the band Throne? Anybody? Don't be shy.
Not nothing off right hands yet.
I gotta actually think about that.
All right. All right. Well, I can keep going. It's no problem. So,
I got some real quick about the writing process of
Yeah.
Pestilent Dawn.
yeah, go for it, Les.
We wrote the first, or like one of the first riffs, actually the first night we stayed in the studio to record Altar of the Dying. It was, we called it the
Yeah.
X-File riff, I think.
oh yeah,
That is my little 2 cents
I
on that.
remember that. Didn't we write that riff like it was like 3:00 in the morning in like the sound room at
something like that. Yeah,
Brooktop? Yeah.
yeah.
No, it doesn't actually sound like
It doesn't, but
No.
That's how we were displaying it with our mouths to Nate though. We were singing it and humming it for weeks until he wrote a riff
Yeah.
about it.
Yep.
Nice. We believe.
I got a question.
Yeah, go for it.
All the other local bands that I come in contact with, they all have like a main composer. Like there's usually one person in the group who pretty much puts everything together, and then the band plays it. Is that the situation that you guys got going on in Throne, or do we see 4 main composers here? Because what I see is 4 excellent musicians in the same band that all seem like they have the theoretical capabilities to write their own music individually, yet they're in the same band making this crazy wild death metal. I'm wondering, is this a compilation of all 4 of your minds, or is there one main composer in this group?
It's all 4
we
of
write
us.
everything.
We write everything together, and it'll be one guy will write a riff and maybe something off of that, and then someone else will take it another direction, or like Colin will throw a different beat under it, and we'll take it, just run with it, and we do everything in the jam space.
That's almost what I thought the answer was going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I didn't figure there was just one of you that wrote, because with the musicianships that you all possess, I just think it would be nonsense to only have one composer writing the music that you guys play. It's nuts, man. I can't.
And to answer that question, before Joe actually joined the band, I was the one. I wrote most of Altar of the Dying. Just about all, actually.
That is true.
Aside from Angels and Covenant, that's when Joe came in and helped write it. But Altar of the Dying, Shadow, Heresy, and Plague were all written by me, because I was the only one playing guitar at the time. So
Right.
Yep. I came in, learned all those songs. I did all the harmonies to it and the solos. And then,
but that's just the guitars.
The actual songs were written.
Colin writes,
like Les writes all his own bass.
Les writes all of his own bass lines, and me and Joe, feed off each other's riffs that we write. So it's a 4-person thing.
Right on.
Very cool.
Did anybody write it out on sheet
No,
music?
we're
by
all
any
old
chance?
school, dude.
Les does it. Les will do it.
I had some of it.
I write tabs out
I did it too. I tapped the whole thing out to have audio for like studio stuff.
I'm the old school one. I do it with my brain. I remember, but hey, whatever.
A little bit of what I've noticed in the writing process, like if we're in a lot of the keeper riffs, there's like Nate kind of just like spawns them in his head and like spit like they're very right in the moment. and like they're like, oh, okay, yeah. Like Collins usually glues right on. He's like, that one works, and then we're like, okay, it just kind of gels like that. But usually Nate's the spark for a lot of it, of a lot of the Pestilent Dawn writing, I'd say too, of like how things got started. But there was a comparison on like maybe who wrote was song a little bit more so than not. I think Covenant of Darkness was like mostly Joe. That was kind of Joe brought a lot of that to the table.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a difference in the writing style there. If you want a comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did I hear that you guys are like old school in the aspect of you're more jam room composers as opposed to like somebody's riffing and passing MP3s around and saying, hey, check this out.
We write 100% of the 100% of everything we play is composed together. It's almost never someone working on something at home and brings it to the table. We pretty much improv it right off the bat, and it becomes something, and we'll work on it together.
Yeah, that's great. I totally support that.
Yeah. And to me, that's honestly the only way to write organic music, in my opinion. And when you get real, when you get actual, when someone writes a riff, and then you get the energy from all the other people in the band, and it just goes from riff to riff to riff to riff to riff, and you get a song that's actual band. It's organic. It's not this person sat with a riff for 6 months and then composed it on a computer and then said, hey, play this. No, that's not. I've never written like that in the 15, 16 years I've been doing music. So it's just it's always been organic with the people in the jam space. So that's how I always wanted to write music, and that's the only way I can write music anymore. So
that's cool.
Well, it's working.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Anybody else have any questions for the guys in Throne?
Yeah, okay, I got you.
All right.
So when are we gonna start seeing you guys play out? I know that we're having troubles with the pandemic and whatnot, but do you guys have any idea when you guys will play out again?
Right now there's not really anything booked at the moment because no one's really taking show bookings at the moment. So
yeah, it's the same with us too. But I just was wondering whether or not see if there's any fucking shows that we could
oh yeah, I mean,
back on,
when we see them and when we can get on them, we'll definitely relay the message. But right now, it's dead. Right now, there's nothing going on.
Yeah, I can relate. We're pretty much in the same boat. We have little issues going on in the band front as well. So we're in the middle of actually recording some stuff. But with the pandemic screwing with us, we've been lagged. We can't do shit, and there's some things going on where I might as well drop it. We're getting a different singer.
Oh,
damn!
Wow.
So, that's something I wasn't supposed to let out, but you know what? Whatever. We gotta let it out sometime.
Yeah.
Sometime or other.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's been rough since we lost our original, kind of our original bass player singer, Brent, when he passed a couple of years ago, and it's been hard. Yeah, it's been really hard for us to try to, pick up the pieces where we're left off, and not to like change it over to us, but just it's been a bit of a grueling time for us trying to get things
Exploding
going.
Zombies are some of our favorite you guys are some of our favorite dudes in the scene right now.
Yeah, dude.
And you
absolutely.
and just a shout out for Exploding Zombies, because you guys are legendary, man. You guys are around when I was fucking jamming. That's fucking old.
Yeah, I know we're old. I know.
Not calling you old.
Gotta keep
I'm just
the
saying
fucking
it's still
spirit
awesome that
alive.
you guys are doing it.
It's all good though. I appreciate it though.
Yeah,
man, I'll tell you this: there's nothing better. There's nothing better to listen to Jeff talk about all the old. Come through here all the time. He'll literally talk your ear off for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I have a question for you guys, and it kind of relates back to Bryan talking about the energy of when you guys are playing live. And this is, like I mentioned before, there's a certain level of energy and excitement that you guys bring to the stage, which is unique. I think your music speaks for itself, but the stage show is also very impressive. And like I mentioned, I've met a lot of, I'm a metalhead, and I know lots of you guys, and we tend to be very calm when you talk to us, like off stage and being, ourselves. But on stage, there's a fierceness. A different person seems to be on stage, and I'm curious if that is a channeling of the music that you play, or if you consciously, when you're getting on stage, you are thinking about a persona or an emotion that you want to channel and focus out to the audience. So is it organic expression, or is it more thoughtful expression of the feeling that you want to get the audience to feel?
For me, it's like all organic, just adrenaline in the music.
Cool. How about you, Colin? Go, Les.
It's like organic. Like if I've ever tried to like synthesize or like produce something to provoke something, it doesn't work. It's just not work. It only works when I just kind of do whatever I need to do.
Yeah.
And so put on a cloak and just going crazy. Just got to hold down the bass.
How about Colin? How about you, man?
It's as organic as it comes.
You always look very happy. The rest of the band looks like fucking pissed off, but you're back there smiling.
I'm just happy to be there, man. Just happy to. Just every show, every rehearsal sesh, it's one of the funnest things I've ever done. Projects, bands, every show. Stuff gets stressful for sure, but when you're on the stage, it all goes away. Like that's what I'm here to do, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, same.
And Nathan, how about you, man?
It's a little different for me because this is the first band that I've ever been in where I was actually the front man.
Oh, cool.
So any other band I've been in, I just was just the guitar player. And so for me, I mean, I've also got a lot of anxiety too when I'm on stage, but it all goes away the second, I grab the mic and, we start playing, and then it's just all adrenaline. And, it's wild because I've never been a vocalist before. So it's crazy. It's crazy what my brain and my body does when I'm on stage. Because normally, if most people meet me, I'm usually really reserved and really shy and really awkward. And on stage, I'm none of that. It's wild. I don't understand it, but it does show like in between songs. When I'm like announcing the songs, I'm usually looking away or like trying to crack a really bad joke in the middle between. It's just like, I don't know. But I try to make it as entertaining as possible for everybody, because when my philosophy is they're not coming to see you play, they're coming to be entertained by you.
Right.
So that's always how I look at it. And since I'm the front man, so to speak, I have to be the one that elevates the performance.
Yeah.
You're the center of attention.
I think you all do a really good job of engaging with your audience, which I think is another aspect that adds to the music. Like I said, the music speaks, it speaks for itself. You can listen to it and just be, inside your own head, raging along with you guys. But when you're watching you guys on stage, you get another element where you're being able to engage with you, and you feel that music, coming out of you, and it's really cool. So I'm happy that it's an organic experience and not just like trying to, because I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but there are certain bands you see and you feel like this is a more of a show and not necessarily them. And I feel like this is music coming through you. So very cool.
You can tell, and you can pretty much see right through people that aren't genuine on stage.
Yeah.
You can just it's completely obvious when you're seeing a person that's going, oh well, that's phoned in. They're just trying to impress everyone out there. Yeah. It's not organic. It's not, it's definitely telegraphed, and it's definitely them just, putting on a facade, I guess.
Yep.
So
yeah. Cool. Anybody else got questions for the guys in Throne?
I got a quick question.
Yeah, go for it, man.
Colin, how long have you been playing, dude? Because again, been in the scene for like 50 million years, and rubbed doubles with a lot of musicians, and I've never seen a drummer so young and so intense. So I just wondering, like, how long you been playing, and what your influences were, and things of that sort.
Well, my dad played. He still plays a little bit. Back when I was born and growing up, played a lot. And my mom's brother played. They lived in the same household a lot. And lots of family players split down. So I basically started as soon as I could hold sticks up. When
That's awesome, man.
I try and claim 20 years of drumming, and then my mom will correct me and say, you can easily claim 25.
Nice. Well, it definitely shows, man, because you definitely kill it every time. So keep up the good work, kid. That's all I can say.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Steve, that's actually a really good question that I'm kind of wanting to know about the rest of the band. What was your kind of influence? What got you to want? I mean, there's one thing to get into a band or not necessarily get into a band, but play music. You get a guitar, you get drums, and you just jam along with stuff, and you do that. There's another level that you get to when you said, you know what, I want to write my own music. And then there's yet another level where you say, I want to write that music and perform it. So what was the catalyst for the rest of you guys that made you want to go do this stuff? And let's start with Joe.
I was always around music, but I didn't pick up guitar until later. And I actually tried picking up drums first, and I just didn't have a teacher that could really convey the theory well to me. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of dropped off that, and then I picked up guitar in like middle school. I had a couple of buddies that played, and we'd hang out and jam. And yeah, man, I've been playing for 20 years now. I couldn't tell you how many guitars I've gone through, but
oh, I'm sure I could.
But yeah, and then yeah, just there's always been music around. Like my dad was big into classic rock. My mom was into like the alt rock scene in the 90s.
Cool.
So I was around all of it.
Awesome.
Grandparents into country. So anything with the guitar or strings, I'm into.
Very nice. Nathan, how about you, man?
Well, for me, like I actually didn't even pick up the guitar until I was 15. And before that, I really wasn't even into music at all. And, I had a neighbor that got me into some stuff when I was in 8th grade. And then, I listened to, music, and I was like, I want to play this. This sounds like it'd be fun to play. And then, I got my first guitar when I was 15. And then, I took like 1 or 2 guitar lessons, and the guitar teacher told my parents, they're like, he's natural at it. I can't teach him anything. And then I essentially just taught myself how to play all the way up until you're just seeing what I'm doing now. And then, as far as bands go, I had a couple friends that were, that play guitar, and we, tried to do the band thing, failed band after failed band, and it just eventually snowballed into, I finally got a band where we, played a couple shows, and then it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But I really wasn't raised around it. It was kind of something I picked up on my own. I mean, my grandpa on my dad's side is heavily into bluegrass, had played stand-up bass, has a dobro, all that kind of stuff. So I would screw around with that kind of stuff when I would go to their house for Christmases and stuff. But none of them played guitar. So that was pretty much all me doing it by myself. So
awesome. Les, how about you, man?
Oh, well, my parents named me after a Les Paul guitar, so my brother's middle name's Marshall. So I've been around music forever. My dad used to play in a hair metal band.
Shit.
Punch Blues. So last one I think was called Tommy Gun, around from the Lansing area and stuff. Anyways, but I grew up in the churches too. I had exposed to a lot of that type of music. I got my bachelor's in music technology from Western Michigan.
Cool.
So, but guitar and stuff, I picked up. My sister got a guitar for Christmas, and I kind of ended up learning how to play off of that. But then picked up a bass, and it's kind of been playing bass since then. So, yeah.
Very cool. Anybody else have questions for the guys in Throne? No problem, man. I can keep going. So this one's a good one because I like to get, I'm always interested, sort of like in your influences, is the origin of your music as far as first albums. And this is a good one I like to throw out because I can get the fans in there too. So what was the first album that you bought? And it could be, you got it as a gift as a kid, or something you saved up money and bought for yourself. But let's start with Christina and Bryan. What do you guys get for an album?
Corn Follow the Leader for me.
Nice.
I mean, are we speaking genre specific here?
No, it can be your first album. Could have been Weird Al, whatever.
And the very first album I ever got, I got for Christmas in 1993 from my uncle or step uncle.
Uh-huh.
And it was Boys to Men.
Excellent.
A perfect example of what I was not trying to listen to at that point.
Boys to Men rules. Let's do it.
I mean, I spun it a couple times and then I gave it to the girl that I was sort of starting to mess around with at that
Dude,
time.
Boys to Men gets the chicks. What's up?
Yeah.
Do it.
Oh man. Well, Bryan, I mean, Boys to Men we got to do a little better. So what was
they were successful. I mean, hey,
what got you into metal then? What was your?
I actually, believe it or not, I got into death metal and metal in general through the local scene, the Michigan local scene.
Really awesome.
When I was a teenager, bands like Production Gray, Revile, Lucifer's Hammer.
Yep.
That's where I came into the scene. And I had a band when I was 19 and played with Production Gray and Revile and we were just a little groove metal band. We weren't really anything heavy, but Tim Seaver took a liking to our music and
very cool.
Let us play gigs with them all the time. I mean, we were always the openers, which was cool, but
yeah,
we were there,
Yeah.
I mean, that was pretty much my introduction. I came in, I learned about Production Gray when I was 14, and then 5 years later, I played a shit ton of shows one summer with them, and that was as far as mainstream. I was really into shock rock. I got into Marilyn Manson a lot.
Oh yeah. Cool.
His name is Brian Warner.
Yeah, a lot of people tried to correlate that. That's sort of funny. 9 Inch Nails. But yeah, and even before that, I mean, my parents listened to country, oldies. So I'm familiar with bands as far back as the 50s. And, I played the saxophone in high school. So
cool.
I've played a lot of jazz, a lot of a crap ton of overtures from the 17 and 1800s. Learned a lot of that junk.
Can you still play saxophone?
I don't know if I can still play it or not. I haven't picked one up in like 20 years, probably.
We could give Throne some Rivers and Nihil vibe.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Oh man.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Woo, that'd be fun, but
Cool.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I could keep up with y'all. I don't think my fingers can move that fast.
It could be like, At the Gates had the cello, thing with
There you go.
saxophone.
Right, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Right?
It can be done, man. There's a way to
No,
make
I'm
it
sure
heavy.
it could, but
Oh yeah. Awesome. Steve, how about you, buddy? What was your
First album, probably old school Metallica, Ride the Lightning. I think would probably be it.
Sweet.
We're talking, late '80s. That's kind of when I switched from hair metal to thrash, I guess you could say. Watching Headbangers Ball, I think it was like spring of '89, and seeing what was it, Overkill, Elimination, and Sepultura, Inner Self back to back. At that point, I knew I was like, "Yep, that's what I'm going to do." Never looked back. That was it for me. All I did was get darker and heavier from there on out.
Fantastic.
Still had the influences of the, like the hair metal, like Crew and stuff like that, but always been the heavier stuff. And then in '91, I heard Butchered at Birth, and I just about shit myself. And I was like, "Oh, it even gets crazier. Okay, I'm going to do that now." So just been kicking around a scene, either on stage or behind closed doors, or trying to throw shows, but always involved in one way or another. I've tried to retire a couple of times. These assholes won't let me.
You always get sucked back in.
Guess I'm just gonna die with a bass in my hands. But anyway, yeah, I'd say probably Ride the Lightning, I think, would be the first album that I bought for myself.
Fantastic. Zeke, man, how about you?
Wow. Black Sabbath, I believe, was Black Sabbath. Black Sabbath.
Cool.
Nice.
After that, I remember just like it was just a while back. I remember listening to like some like Led Zeppelin, some shit like that. Whatever. A friend was like, "Oh, that's some old ass shit. Whatever. You gotta check this out." And I'm like, "Well, what is it?" And that's a band from Brazil's Sepultura. And I'm like, "Okay, I'll throw it on." And I fucking listen to it. I'm like, drums are fucking really cool, but I really hate that vocalist, man. He can fucking suck it. And I'm listening to it, and I've been playing for a little while. I think I've been playing for like about 20 something years, but obviously the drums turned me on, so I'm like listening to it, and after a certain amount of time, I started listening to it, and I'm like, I kind of more or less turned off the vocals. I didn't want to listen to the vocals, so I just listened to the guitar and the drums and shit. Now it's all good to me. I fucking loved it. And after that, I just started like getting into like Carcass and what the fuck else was I? Cannibal Corpse, of course. Shit, what else? Some I don't know. But after listening to Sepultura, I started to kind of get more into the death metal scene, and that's what got me into it completely. And yeah, when I first started playing drums, it was just like little like playing to White Snake and Quiet Riot or something like that.
Right.
And after that, after hearing Sepultura, I'm like, yeah, I think I need to kind of not or turn it up a notch. But after that, yeah, that's all I can say for it, man. Ever since I heard the first riff from Sepultura shit, I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do.
Awesome. So, Les, what was your first album?
I think when I was like 5, I got Thriller by Michael Jackson.
That's
one.
Hell yeah.
That's a great album, man. I just actually.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Hold on, guys. Sorry about that. Fucking goddamn phone call. The hell. I'm right in the middle of the goddamn podcast, motherfucker. Yeah, so I was going to say Thriller. I just got that. I somehow neglected getting that album, and I just got it recently. It's fantastic. Colin, how about you?
I was into pretty heavy stuff from the earliest moment I can remember. I remember being in a playpen hearing Master of Puppets and Slayer and Sepultura, that's some of my earliest memories. But my first album I ever got given to me was my dad gave me a Black album, Metallica.
Oh, really? Awesome.
Yeah, and so I was definitely already into heavy stuff, but that was the first album I ever had.
Very cool. Joe, how about you, man?
First album I ever bought was an Aerosmith double live CD. I think it was Little South of Sanity or something like that.
Oh, cool.
It's from like the late 90s. Yeah. It was just a shitload of great rock and roll stuff.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And Nathan, how about you, man?
Oh, man.
Good.
My first record I bought was in the summer of 2000, I think. And I was, it was my 8th grade year, and I wasn't introduced to death metal until about 2 or 3 years after that. So my friends and we were all into alternative rock and new metal. So my first record was LD50 by Mudvayne.
All right. Wow.
That's a good one, though.
That is a good one.
That's a good new metal album.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah. Then after that it was Slipknot and all that kind of shit. Like you're 14 in high school in 2001. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
Hey man, I had all that stuff too.
Yeah.
New metal.
Yeah. Coal Chamber. I remember seeing those guys at Harpo's.
Absolutely. I had self-titled Cold Chamber and chamber music.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I can't remember what that show was. I remember seeing Cold Chamber there at Harpo's, and there's some new, so like Mudvayne, I actually like that first album. But
it's awesome.
It was tough for me during that period of time because I came from like old school metal, where it's like lead guitars and stuff, and new metal just said fuck lead guitar. And it was all about the break.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it was like breakdowns and riffs and shit. I'm like, well, where the fuck's the guitar, man? I'm like, yeah, it's heavy, but I mean, where's the fucking lead? I'm not hearing them. So.
Right.
So it was like a big downer for me. I'm like, I'm a fucking lead guitar player, and where is it? So anyway,
where's all the shredding? Where's the goods?
Well, it got a little carried away. I mean, obviously, like Yngwie and those. Like,
oh yeah,
yeah. It got to total wank.
It needed to be put in check for a minute.
I mean, I really did love early Yngwie, but after a while,
oh yeah, the first Rising Force
records are awesome.
Yeah,
yeah.
But then it's a wank fest after that, and you're like,
oh yeah. That's because he's insanely self-centered. Doesn't care about anyone else about himself, so he just shreds on them. He's just like, he doesn't give a shit.
Right.
He's like, I'm sick. I know. Fuck you guys.
That's what I call people going, oh, look at me. Look what I can do.
Yep. Pretty much.
Awesome. So anybody else got questions for the guys in Throne?
I got a real quick question. I know obviously with COVID and whatnot, you guys got any and Zeek kind of touched on this. You guys got any touring plans, like maybe down the road? Summer, fall, obviously with everything happening, it's kind of right now. Yeah.
We were approached about a tour at the end of the year. That's about all I can say about it right now, but there is an idea for one.
Yeah.
Nothing's concrete about it, but it is with a legendary death metal band, so
very cool.
Awesome.
That would be great. I mean,
hopefully it happens. Yeah. Who knows what's going to happen in the next 5-6 months?
Well, there's lots of. I mean, you guys got great music coming out, and there's a bunch of metal bands that are going to be releasing stuff in 2021. I mean, At the Gates is going to have new stuff out. Carcass, so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that kind of gets me into another question. Like, so if you could go on like kind of the dream tour, where would Throne? Who would you like to tour with? What would be a couple of bands that would be awesome to do?
Yeah, dream tour, damn.
Is this per member?
Yes, per member. Yeah, because I know you probably all have different bands that you'd
Oh yeah.
go with. So Nathan, let's start with you.
For me, it would be touring with either Suffocation, Morbid Angel, or Angel Corpse.
Oh,
Yeah, those
Nice.
kind of, especially Suffocation, because they are my favorite band. So they're, I mean,
I knew you were gonna say
obviously,
that.
as you can see in our music, it completely shows that I'm obsessed with that band. And Hate Eternal would be another one. So
It's
awesome.
all right. You're just one of their bastard children. The band is. That's what I tell people. Behemoth and Suffocation had a baby. It's Throne.
Yeah. Colin, how about you, man?
I was gonna say Suffocation because they rip, and then because we'd get to fucking party every night, you know, because they party hard. So it'd be a pretty fun adventuring tour.
Oh yeah. Les.
So like everything, Suffocation, of course, that was awesome. I would be really cool. I know this is really far out there, but like Merciful Fate or King Diamond, something big like that, totally different genre. But
Yeah, that would be sick.
that would be insane.
Right, that's insane. That's about it.
That would be cool.
Yeah,
Very cool. I mean that contrast, I mean, because you actually would fit very well together. You know, you've obviously a little bit more bone crushing than King Diamond, but those two bands, I like that one.
I mean, but we can't write a riff heavier than the riff in Halloween, so it doesn't matter.
Trying to see this would be like the other heavy band.
I named my daughter after Abigail.
Oh, awesome.
I named her Abigail after a King Diamond album.
Fantastic. And Joe, how about you, man?
Oh man, you mentioned Carcass. That would be a good one for me. And Suffocation, of course. Yeah. Suffocation was a blast to play with.
Yeah.
A tour.
That was fun.
Yeah. I just want to hang out with Carcass. You know,
yeah, dude, that would be awesome. Or Exhumed. Exhumed would be a fun one too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Exhumed. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my old bands opened up for Exhumed. I almost got puked on by the bass player. Luckily, I seen it coming and backed up. Somebody told me, like, watch out. His gimmick is he likes to puke all over it. I thought they were joking. And I was like, holy shit.
It's fucking awesome.
And that was back then. That was many, many moons ago. But yeah, we opened up for Exhumed and Mortician. And that was a hell of a show. That was fun.
Mortician would be the ultimate band for me to open for forever until the end of time.
Right. Oh, and they were awesome, man. And the whole the whole drum machine thing. I know a lot of people are down on it, but we did that for not to get sidetracked. We did that for one of our songs back in Project Apocalypse way back in the day, and it turned out excellent. Because we didn't have guys like Colin laying around. You know, we had to,
there aren't too many guys like Colin floating around, so you got to get the when you can.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So did any of the other guys, any other fans, you guys, any questions for the band? No. All right. Well, I'm we're just about at the time to wrap up, and I've got a super controversial question. If you've listened to the podcast, you may have heard this before. I think divorces have occurred because of this question. Wars have probably been started because of this question. And that is,
let's go.
Pineapple on pizza? No pineapple on pizza.
No.
Yes.
No pineapple.
Yes. Pineapple on.
You can have it on there if there's jalapenos.
Oh, that's funny.
If there's no jalapenos,
that's been a common thing. You got to put the jalapenos with the pineapple. I got to try this, but yeah.
Jalapenos or the banana peppers. Banana peppers are solid too.
All right, I'll give them that.
Yeah.
I won't fuck with pineapple on pizza, but that's whatever.
Nate won't eat any vegetables.
I also
veggies
eat like a
then.
5-year-old child, so it's whatever.
He sees something green on the pizza. Fuck that. And if it's pineapple,
That's awesome.
Dino nuggets on a pizza.
Les, how about you, man?
I'm kind of indifferent. Like I prefer it not though, but if it's on there, I'm not gonna freak out. You know. I'm gonna eat it.
Zeke, what do you think, man?
As long as there's no anchovies, I'm good.
There you go.
That's pretty much my rule too.
Awesome. And Christina and Bryan.
No plants.
Nope.
Gotta
No
be all
plants.
meat, no anchovies.
All meat.
All right. Fantastic.
I like it. They're good people over there.
Fantastic. Well, guys, thanks so much for being part of Fans with Bands. I can't wait to see you guys playing live again. And I can't wait to hear the new music because I fucking love you guys. I really do. I think you guys are a fantastic next level band. There's lots of great local bands and there's no, I mean, no aspersions to them, but you guys are that level that could just be there touring. I could, fly out to Sweden and see you and you go, oh, hey Chuck, how you doing? So I'm looking forward to that pass when that happens.
Thank you.
Hell yeah, dude.
Agree
yeah.
100%.
All right.
Chuck.
And-
And thank you, Chuck, for doing this stuff too. This is
Yeah,
really
thanks
cool.
for
Oh,
having us, Chuck.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, nope, it's no
It's been a
problem.
blast.
Jake.
Thank you,
And
Jeff.
thanks to the fans too.
Thank you,
I appreciate
Brian.
you guys being here.
You know,
Hell yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
thank you guys.
guys.
Thanks for doing this, man.
All right.
We love you guys.
All right. Take care, guys. And thanks again.
Take care, everybody.
thank
Yeah,
you.
be safe, man.
Thanks, guys.
Peace.
Thanks again to Nate, Joe, Les, and Kollin of Throne, as well as fans Christina, Bryan, Zeke, Steve, and Tommy for joining me on this episode of Fans with Bands. Head over to the Throne Bandcamp page to pre-order their new album called Pestilent Dawn, which will be released on April 9th via Redefining Darkness Records. See the show notes for all the details and links. These are tough times for everyone in the creative industries such as music. Your support of live streaming, purchasing music, and merchandise is critical. If you can help out your local artists, please do. If you are in the Michigan area, consider following the Playing in the Detroit Area Tonight Facebook page. It is a place for fans and bands to support each other and share our combined love of music. Thank you all so much for listening. Be sure to hit subscribe on your favorite podcast service to get each and every episode of Fans with Bands. Spread the word by rating the show and leaving a comment. We want to hear what you think. You can keep in touch by following us on social media. This is a Life in Michigan production. Until next time, be well and kick out the jams.